Hey there, welcome back to Reddit XO, the best channel for Reddit cheating stories. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification for more stories like these. Now, let's get into the video. I found out my 31 male, ex-wife, 27 female, cheated on me while she was pregnant. Now she says I'm emotionally manipulative because I'm cold and distant during custody switches, plus update. Last year, I, a 31-year-old man, learned that my now ex-wife, a 27-year-old woman, had been cheating on me while she was 6 months pregnant. We divorced because she had relationships both before and after the pregnancy. She gave me reasons and excuses for not obtaining a divorce. She wanted to stay together and go to couples counseling. I encouraged her to go ahead and seek treatment, but infidelity was a deal breaker for me, so we split. She returned to her parents' home, where she was able to set up a nursery with plenty of space, and she gave my ex the guest room since the house had been mine when we were married. After my wife dropped our daughter off at daycare on Wednesday morning, my nanny would pick her up and bring her back to my house. My daughter would then stay with me until Saturday night or Sunday morning, depending on what worked best for everyone. However, my wife changed her mind and decided to keep our daughter with me until Saturday night or Sunday morning. Then my ex claimed that she was concerned that the daycare was misplacing some of the stuff she was bringing in for her to take to my house, since our daughter had returned home a couple of times without certain bottles or her binky, among other things. Consequently, ex indicated that she wanted to drop our child off at our house immediately in order to guarantee that all of her possessions would arrive at my house. As a result, she started picking her up from daycare and dropping her off here during her lunch breaks. On Wednesdays and Fridays, I am able to do my job from home. Regardless, I'm at my desk working. The time when EX began dropping Nadine off at my apartment was generally about 12:30. The fact that I was at the office working meant that my daughter's nanny, a beautiful old lady from Barbados, not sure what age she is but late 50s, 60s, opened the door for my ex and took my daughter and her possessions with her to a safe place while I was away. When she came, ex informed me that she wanted to speak with me in person. She described her feelings as follows. She felt like she was dumping a lot on the nanny and didn't want her to forget to tell me anything. I'd be lying if I said I didn't have feelings of bitterness and hatred for my ex. In order to avoid this from happening in front of my daughter, I try to be as emotionally equal as possible while speaking with my ex, only discussing issues that are pertinent to my daughter and nothing else. As soon as Nadine arrived at school today, her nanny took her upstairs to change her diaper, which was a first for her. When my ex inquired as to how I was doing, I said that I was fine and thanked her before returning to my workplace. She sees herself out. She used to live there. I move away from her, and she says, I'm getting really sick of your garbage. My attempts to find out what she was talking about were cut short by her erupting in an angry rage, yelling that I was emotionally manipulating her by being cold and distant, that she shouldn't be punished forever for her misdeeds, and that hating her was the same as hating my child. I waited until she had finished her ranting before instructing her to go. I feel that the best course of action for me is to avoid any more engagement with her and to cease seeing her for drop-offs at the school. Nevertheless, I was expecting to get any additional perspectives or opinions on the matter from you if you happen to have any. Edit. I took a paternity test after discovering she cheated, and my baby is mine. Update. There were several excellent recommendations. Someone recommended a website called Talking Parents, which I feel will be a valuable resource for my ex-wife and myself. The thing I have to constantly telling myself is that the unpleasant and betrayed sentiments I have for my ex-wife will most likely dissipate in 5 or 10 years, but a hostile relationship between the two of us would have a long-term effect on our daughter. As a result, I met down with my ex-wife and taped a talk regarding our predicament. I was really honest and forthright with her. I informed her that although I still had bad sentiments for her as my ex-wife, as the mother of my kid, I would always treat her civilly and politely, but that we needed to set limits. I informed her that we're going back to our original plan of dropping her off at daycare in the mornings and having my nanny pick her up in the afternoons. We'll convey which products should be delivered home with her through the internet, so the nanny can double-check that she has everything. My ex-wife isn't pleased. I believe she came to my home in the hopes of reconciling, but I informed her gently, but unequivocally, that it was never going to happen, but I'd want to see our relationship blossom as fantastic co-parents to a lovely young girl, and maybe one day, friends. Story 2. I am 29 male, getting a divorce from my wife, 24 female of 3 years. I feel used, cheated. I've known my wife for 5 years, and we've been married for 3 years. A month ago, we separated, and we're now going through the divorce process. The basis for the divorce is that she had an affair with another man. She cheated on me twice, once online, sending images and on Skype to 2 separate people, and once physically, with a different person, when she was visiting her family out of town. We decided to try and work it out. After we found her the first time, she had set up a secret Skype account and forgotten to log off of the computer. And after a week of nightmares, trying to figure out why she did it and where the relationship would go, we decided to try and work it out. It was a few months later that she traveled to meet her family, and I discovered via her friend that she had spent several hours with another man whom I had never heard of before, all while pretending to me that she was with her family. When I learned of the second incident, I waited for her to return to the office so that I could speak with her face to face. She had no justification or justifications for what she had done. I couldn't say anything. She packed her belongings and returned home to her family a few days later. My wife, or ex-wife, told me there was nothing I did wrong and that I was a great spouse who supplied for her and cared for her. I disagree. I was available for her if she needed anything or just wanted to chat. If I didn't agree with anything or had a different point of view, I would express it to her in a respectful manner. I work a full-time job and took advantage of any opportunities to work overtime for additional money while she was absent. The activities, lessons, painting, dance, were paid for by me, and she requested that I join her for these since my work schedule did not permit it. He expressed his deep guilt for what she had done and said that he would never forget it. She believes she married too soon and that, as a result of her selfishness, she is not a person who should be married at all. It seemed like she was insisting that I had done nothing wrong, but the more she said it, the more I became perplexed. I don't see how someone can state that I was the most influential and positive person they have met in their lives, or that I have done more for them than anybody else in their lives. Do not, however, what she has done to me. That is beyond my comprehension. I don't see why you would want to harm my reputation for both myself and you. I believe I have been mistreated and manipulated, as well as exploited and deceived. I spent years putting in long hours to ensure that we had something to look forward to, and now I feel like I'm back to square one, if not even that. It's impossible for me to stop thinking about her, despite what she did. A part of me still loves and cares for her since I made a promise to her, for better or worse, but she believes that it's too late to salvage the situation. She expressed gratitude, saying that I helped her become a better person, and that she now recognizes how much she harmed me and has never expressed such regret in her life. Now she wants out, and I can't stop thinking, well, she'll be better for someone else, after all the hard work I've put in to get here. What part of it is helpful, and what part of it is even fair? This is all screwed up. Please, someone assist me in making sense of it. Update. She was aware of my identity and the importance I place on my perspective on things. I've always been the kind of guy that watched out for the people I cared about, and if you needed assistance, you could come to me for it. I tried my best because I was married, and I was always honest about my feelings and expressed them in my writing. She was aware of this before her marriage. I maintained my current speed and did not engage in or want to engage in games of balancing things. Whenever it is necessary to put all I have into making things work and moving ahead toward our objectives, I will do so. From the time we woke up until the time we went to work, everything was perfect. She is still unable to justify what she did and expresses sorrow for what she has done. My dissatisfaction stems from the fact that she went ahead and did it knowing it would be a regret immediately after and in the future.